It's one of the most difficult tasks, I think, that an organization such as mine, which is a community development corporation, has to face.
Keeping folks involved, helping to keep people involved and generate more people in the process is always a challenge. And keeping those core group of people involved from the beginning to the end of a community engagement process is also a challenge, I believe.
And sometimes you also have engagement fatigue, when people think that there has been one group after another that has come to them supposedly with grand ideas to do this or that or the other, and nothing has happened, or a few things have happened and then things have died away.
We can come up with the best ideas in the world, and if it's not something that others would desire for themselves, then they won't take advantage of it.
Sometimes we have a tendency to describe the problem ourselves when we're not in the community. So it's so critically important and so genuine to invite the community in to share how they see the problem is, what they think contributes to the problem, and hear their experiences so that we can also know that and have the passion and compassion to solve the problem with the community.
And it's important to keep in mind with community engagement that you never successfully impose something onto a community. If you're going to truly engage, you don't tell the community what you want to do. You ask the community how to make things better and what the community members want, need, and believe in.
Well, if you're trying to do work in the community and you do it without community engagement, you're really just bringing your ideas and trying to force it on people or overlay it on some system. But if people aren't engaged with you, if the community doesn't own it, or you don't have energy or willingness to listen or work around it, it's really not going to go anywhere.
I think that presence and relationship are very important, and as people trust and know you, they're more likely to give you their input, either in a collective environment or one-on-one. But that trust is important.
So it's important not to descend on a community. It's important to find ways to reach out, to talk to people who you know in the community, to interact with entities that you already are engaged with in the community, to build up some social capital so that there can be a foundation of trust.
I think that you need to be ready to listen. And if they're on some other page than you are, you need to pause and listen to what they have to say so that maybe your initiative needs to take a little turn. Because it's worthless to do an initiative that you want the community engage around if they're at a different place.
Because until there is that relationship, that sense of honest trust, that sense of authenticity, you're not going to get the information that you need. And if you don't have the information that you need, then it's almost impossible to develop a truly engaged relationship.
It should be a space that folks are familiar with, that they know where the space is, that is easily accessible on the bus line. I think that's very important for folks who do not have a car or have someone that can bring them to the meeting. I think that's really, really important. I think we leave a lot of people out when we don't think about those types of things.
I think that you need to schedule the meetings at a location and a time in a time frame, so a limited meeting so that people can attend. So it's not when they're working, so that it's in their own community, so that they know it's a time-limited meeting, so they can arrange if it's going to be a 2-hour meeting for childcare, and they know when it's done, it'll be done.
So it's more important to go out into the community to find civic association meetings, to find coffee houses, to find parks, to find places where people gather. And the places where people gather will be the places where they're going to be most likely to talk to you.
It's always a good thing to have food, to have food and water as an incentive to say, hey, look, come in. I know this is during dinner time, but we're going to meet you where you are in that aspect.
Time matters, place matters, message matters. When we talk about timing, it's important to understand not only the time of day, but the rhythm of that community. That's timing as well.
So any barriers that can prevent folks from participating should be recognized, and then a solution, mitigate those circumstances so that folks can participate. Because if you want the community there, then make it so that they can be there.
Some of the things that I might do differently include providing childcare options for the attendees, talking more about assets instead of just focusing on the problems, and then rotating the meeting location so people who live in different areas of the neighborhood could have an easier time coming.
So I would also make sure that there's a better process to update people when they join the meeting later. A lot of the times people would come and they would not be able to easily catch up, and it's just because we had gone so far and they were joining the process a little bit later.
How would I do it? I think I would do a lot of publicity, and also to help people become aware of what the needs are for the community. If they don't know what the needs are, there's a lot of people who are willing to help, but they don't know what the needs are. So communication is key.
The people I know would want to be excited about something like that, so you would have to bring maybe fun events for people to actually want to learn about it. Because people don't want to hear just straight facts. They kind of want to see examples and why it's good for you or why you shouldn't do this.
And then find ways in which your particular organization can represent itself to meet the needs of the community. Meet needs or interests, whatever is going on. Ways that you can help the community strengthen its strengths and cover some of its weaknesses and so forth. Well, then I think that's what community engagement from a corporate level is all about.
Communication is the key. That's what's going to really get us. We have all the communication in the world, and still we don't understand each other. And so once we get that, I feel like half the problems that we're going through right now will be over.